Hello everyone, I'm Richard here and welcome to this episode of a review of the Nanlite Pavotube 15c, a full RGB light. Let's get going. The 15c is actually not Nanlite's first RGB light. The first one goes to the RGB88 here, and it is powered by a Sony battery, goes in full RGB mode from 0 to 256 colors, and it's pretty good, you know, all metal construction and nice. So the Pavotube is actually more like Nanlite's refinement, and it comes in a fluorescent tube style design, full frosted glass on the front, buttons on the back, and a small little LCD here that actually shows the setting. So this light itself, as I said, is a full colored light, and in terms of its color, it is a full HSI light which goes from 0 to all the way to 360, giving a wide variety of color. It also goes from 0 to 100 for saturation itself. So the choices of the colors on this tube is slightly better than the original RGB88. This light has also a better range of temperature for its white light. So for its white light, it goes all the way from 2700 here to 6500. In my own personal measurements, the 2700 is relatively correct, and at that mode, it gives you about 96.5 CRI. While its other side, which is the 6500 equivalent written on the Nanlite itself, it measures closest to about 6900, 7000 with a CRI of about 96.2, 96.4. Now, in terms of color accuracy, 96 is really good. It has nice skin tones, a bit slightly lower on the blue side in terms of numbers, that's why it's 96, but really nothing too bad about it. Compared to RGB88, the RGB88 had a slightly better color at about 97 itself. Now, in terms of brightness, as you can see, this is quite a bright light, and this brightness itself is closer to about, according to Nanlite, 99 lux at 2 meter, and in my own measurements, about 400 lux at 1 meter itself. So it's quite a bright light, and it's really useful in many situations such as hair light, field light, backlight. You can use it in most modes. So now, if you notice, this is a tube form factor, and this tube looks quite long, but this is actually not the longest power tube you can purchase. In fact, the longest one is twice the length, or about 1.2 meter, 4 feet length, compared to this, which is a 2 feet equivalent tube, which is still pretty long itself. One of the things that, you know, being a tube factor, it has mounts that look like it can fit into some of the fixtures that hold bigger fluorescent tubes. Other than that, there's other ways to mount it, such as through the holes here, you can hang it up using metal wires, or if not, you can purchase the clamp from Nanlite. And this clamp here, as I say, if you notice, is a single tube clamp. They also come in the dual tube and the quad tube variant, holding up to 4 tubes at one time. Other than that, the Pavotube itself, if you notice, there's no way to mount batteries unlike the RGB88, which uses the Sony battery. This Pavotube has an internal built-in battery. From my own exploration so far, there's no way to change this battery, and it lasts about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, depending on how bright you use it. I use it at full power, so it's about 1.5 to 2 hours. You probably can go up to maybe 3 hours if you dim it a little more. Now, 1.5 to 2 hours is quite a long time, but not really long. So for really long productions, you can actually plug in DC power. This light does come with a charging adapter, and this charging adapter can be used with the light itself to power it almost indefinitely. So overall, I love this Pavotube. I think it gives a lot of flexibility with a bigger color range than the RGB88. It can meet most of your requirements, probably if you want colored lights or you want to balance it in most form of white light. In fact, most fixtures are actually about 6500 rather than the daylight of 5600. So this tube is a lot more useful than the RGB88. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this video. This light here is on loan from SLR Revolution in Singapore. And if you want to purchase it in Singapore, you can get it from them too. And if you want me to do more reviews on video equipment, photography equipment, or some sort of tutorial, do subscribe and like. And I hope you enjoy your day today. Thank you. Pretty cool effects, you know, built in. Flash, timer, corpse light. Pretty cool.